All right, guys. So we got an interesting new detail about Daredevil Born Again. We actually know how long after season 3 it is going to take place, and it brings up some interesting questions actually. So, let's get into this article here. Hold on, actually. So the Bullseye actor Wilson Bethel, he was at some kind of like convention or something, and he talked about it there. So we'll read his quote here. Uh, yeah, I mean, Charlie sort of alluded to it, but I think one of the things that's interesting is, I mean, maybe it's different on a sitcom or something like that, but if you're on a show for over a period of time and the characters are aging together sort of in real time, and if the show is well written and the writers are sort of responding to that reality transpiring, the wrinkles of their hair, etc., then in theory, the character is evolving in a way whether or not the show was on air. So there's kind of this funny thing. Stepping back after 5 years, where Born Again will pick up with that amount of time having transpired, the show doesn't pick up the day after we last saw it. It picks up 5 years later. And so, in theory, these are characters who have all lived 5 years of life and all of the twists and turns that you take in the meantime. So, whether or not even those stories are necessarily on screen, there's just that little extra bit of life in there, which I think is, as an actor, gives you an opportunity to bring whatever your own journey has been in that time, and they get sort of a little longer in the tooth. So I think that's interesting, right? Like, I think it's interesting that the show is going to deal with age. I don't know if I mean I don't know how far that goes. Like, I don't know if like Daredevil is going to be like, my back, my back. I'm like, I think in my 40s. I think Charlie Cox is in his 40s. Yeah, like I think that would be interesting if they, tried or if they started dealing with those sorts of things. But one of the things that kind of made me think of is 5 years seems like a very specific number. And part of me wonders if part of it is also going to have to do with the blip. So if we're going to if I'm doing my math correctly here, right? Like season 3 came out in 2018 and Avengers Endgame came out in 2018, right? Oh wait, no. I'm stupid. No, wait, I might be messing this up already. Wait, Endgame came out in 2019. No, I thought I did something here. Oh wait, no, it says the blip began in 2018 when Thanos. Okay, hold on. No, I am cooking. Let me cook. The blip began. I'm sorry. I have the thing open up. The blip began in 2018 when Thanos, wielding all 6 Infinity Stones, exterminated half of all living things. Okay, and season 3 came out in 2018. Okay, I'm cooking. Let me cook. Shut up with your little comments like, oh, well, actually, Avengers Endgame came out in 2019. Took place in 2018, bitch. Well, it took place all throughout time, but you know what I mean. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm still cooking here. I wonder if this means that the blip is going to play some kind of role in Daredevil Born Again. I mean, those were always the rumors, right? I remember back during the previous iteration of the show when we found out that Karen and Foggy weren't going to be in it. We were all coping like, well, maybe the show takes place during the blip. Yeah, that would explain why they're not in it. And I think it was honestly like just having to do with the fact that all the Netflix stuff was originally not going to take place in the MCU. Like, yeah, if you remember all of that, what was originally going to be the case was Daredevil Born Again was essentially going to be a reboot where they're still using Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Kingpin, but all the Netflix series were not going to be canon to the MCU. However, like at some point, when Marvel decided to like rehaul all of their stuff, they decided that actually this is probably a bad idea, and so they actually came out and they officially confirmed that all of the Netflix shows are canon to the MCU. And so, yeah, now we're dealing with a show that takes place 5 years after the blip. So 5 years after the blip is when things would have transpired, right? That is when everybody would have come back. So I don't know. I'm just like, again, nobody's talked about this. I'm just kind of I feel like it would be weird if they decided to specifically have the show take place right when the effects of the blip ended, and they just don't talk about it. I feel like that would be weird. Would it not be weird? Am I alone in this and believing this and thinking this? The only reason why I feel like they might not do it is just because the blip is kind of like we've kind of just like brushed it off to the side at this point. Like they were really addressing it in WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and in like Spider-Man Far From Home, but since then, I mean, the world has just kind of like moved on in terms of the world in the MCU. So it's just like not really a thing that we talk about at this point in any of the shows. So it would be a little weird if Daredevil decided to do it again. Although to be fair to them again, like I don't know that Falcon and the Winter Soldier definitely didn't really like do the best job of handling the ramifications of the blip. I actually now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, like maybe Daredevil like representing people because there are like injustices happening because of the blip. I mean, that actually low key could be an interesting thing. Now that I really think about it, that could actually be kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll see. Honestly, I might be overthinking it. It might not be. It might not have anything to do with the blip, but that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw that. When I saw that headline. But yeah, in any case, listen. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that they came to their senses. I'm glad that they decided to not do just the absurd thing, which is bringing back Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio and just being like, actually, it's not a continuation of the series that you really loved and that you were really sad wasn't happening. And us announcing them coming back has like the assumption of it being a continuation of that show, but it's actually not a continuation of that show. And also, Karen and Foggy aren't going to be in it. And also, it's going to be like a legal drama and not necessarily like the superhero show that the Netflix show was. We're just going to do something completely different, but we're going to bring back the same actors. So we're going to make you think that it's going to be the same thing, but it's actually not going to be the same thing. Like it was just such a ridiculous proposition in the first place. I'm just glad that they've come to their senses, and I hope that they knock. I feel like this is one of the most important shows or one of the most important projects because, obviously, like I would say, like Fantastic Four and what's the other one that I'm thinking of? I don't know. Fantastic Four is probably their most important like movie coming up next year, but I definitely think that Daredevil Born Again is like their most important TV show. I feel like Daredevil Born Again is like a make or break project for a lot of people, where I think even a lot of people that haven't been really paying attention to the MCU, they're like, okay, I'll come back for Daredevil though. And if they mess up Daredevil, boy howdy, will there be consequences? But yeah, we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about my little theory, my film theory, in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.